Hi, Algebra 2. In this video, I'm going to do some examples of operations with polynomials. I'm going to do an addition example, a subtraction example, and a multiplication example. And I actually pulled all of these problems from Delta Math, so they're worded the same way, and you can get some examples of how to make sure you're doing these problems right in the Delta Math. So the first problem I have on the left is find the sum of 4x squared minus 7 and 6x squared minus 5. So just because we didn't do one worded like this in class, we need to make sure we know that the word sum is telling us to add the polynomials together. And so when I'm adding polynomials, it doesn't matter the order that I add them in, but I'm going to write the first one first, 4x squared minus 7 plus 6x squared minus 5. You actually don't need parentheses when you're adding, but you're going to need them when you subtract. And so I'm just going to use them all the time to make sure we don't make any mistakes. So I'm adding my two polynomials together, and I can see that I have some like terms. I have 4x squared that can be combined with 6x squared, and then I have negative 7 that can be added with negative 5. So I'm going to do those two, combine those like terms, and that's going to give me my answer. So 4x squared plus 6x squared gives me 10x squared, and negative 7 plus negative 5 is going to give me negative 12. So that would be the final answer. I type in 10x squared minus 12. So you just want to make sure you add the correct like terms together when you're finding the sum of two polynomials. Okay? Now the next one says subtract negative 7x minus 9 from negative 4x squared plus 3x minus 5. This is where you need to be careful because with subtraction, the order matters. So it says subtract negative 7x minus 9 from negative 4x squared plus 3x minus 5. So if I'm subtracting the first polynomial from the second polynomial, I need to write the second one first. And again, I'm going to use parentheses because with subtraction, it is very important to use the parentheses. And from that polynomial, I'm subtracting parentheses negative 7x minus 9. See how the parentheses are important? You see two minus signs in a row. And if you don't use parentheses, sometimes you might forget to make sure you don't forget any of the signs in your polynomials. Okay, so when it says subtract a polynomial from another polynomial, the second one goes first minus the first one. Okay, so now that I have done that, I'm actually going to, I'm going to do my subtraction, and I just have to be careful when I'm subtracting to pay close attention to my signs. If I'm subtracting a negative, that's going to be adding, and so on. So let's figure out what like terms we have here. Okay, I see negative 4x squared in my first polynomial, but my second polynomial doesn't have an x squared term, so that one isn't even going to be combined with anything. It's just going to stay negative 4x squared. I see positive 3x and negative 7x. And then I see negative 5 and negative 9. So again, we're going to need to be careful with that minus sign in the middle. We're not adding this time, we're subtracting. So first I'm going to carry down my negative 4x squared. Now I have positive 3x minus negative 7. Okay, this is where you have to be careful. Positive 3x minus negative 7x. The minus and negative becomes adding. So it's really positive 3x plus 7x, so I get plus 10x, okay? And then negative 5 minus negative 9. Again, minus negative 9 is going to become plus 9, so negative 5 plus 9, and that would give me a positive 4. If you need a calculator for that, you can. It could help you if you want to, some people, if you're getting confused with the signs, you can add an extra step in here where you distribute the negative sign to both of these and get rid of all your parentheses and then just add everything together. So it would be, if I did that step, just in case you want to see it, I'm actually going to keep the parentheses, but actually no, I'll get rid of them. So negative 4x squared plus 3x minus 5, that part doesn't change. And then if you want to distribute that negative first, so that way you don't mess up those signs, minus negative 7x becomes plus 7x, minus negative 9 becomes plus 9, and then it's the same thing. You've got your negative 5 and your plus 9, and then your positive 3x and your positive 7x. So you can kind of do it either way. If you're able to kind of do it in your head knowing minus and negative becomes positive, then you can skip writing that middle step. If you feel like you can't keep track of the negative, go ahead and distribute it to the second terms, and then do your combination after that. Okay? Now I'm going to do one example of multiplying. So it says simplify the expression to a polynomial in standard form. Okay, this is x minus 4 times 3x squared plus 4x minus 4. So this time I'm multiplying. Okay, I've got a binomial in the front, so something with 2 terms times a trinomial in behind it, which is 3 terms. Now this is where I have to make sure I'm double distributing. So I have to distribute the x to everything in the second polynomial or the quadratic, and I have to distribute the minus 4 to everything in the quadratic. So I'll start with the x. So for the x, I'm going to multiply x with everything in the quadratic. So each thing gets multiplied by x. So first I have x times 3x squared, which is going to give me 3x cubed. Then I have x times 4x, which is going to give me 4x squared. Then I have x times negative 4, which is going to give me minus 4x. And that's my x distributed to all 3 terms. Now I'm going to go in and do the same thing with the minus 4, and then after that we'll combine our like terms. So minus 4 needs to get multiplied with everything too. Make sure you're multiplying negative 4 times everything inside the second parentheses. So negative 4 times 3x squared gives me negative 12x squared. Negative 4 times positive 4x is negative 16x. And then negative 4 times negative 4 gives me positive 16. So again, you just kind of have to be careful about your signs. Now we can combine like terms. There's like no parentheses here, so we're just going to worry about combining each part. So 3x cubed, there aren't any other x cubed, so that one can't be combined. I see I have positive 4x squared and negative 12x squared. That's going to get combined. Let's see, I have negative 4x and negative 16x. That'll get combined, and then the 16 is going to be by itself because it doesn't have any other constants to combine with. So I'll keep the 3x cubed. Positive 4x squared minus 12x squared is going to give me negative 8x squared. Again, if you need a calculator to make sure 4 minus 12, you can do that in the calculator to make sure you're getting your positives and negatives right. Negative 4x minus 16x, that's going to give me negative 20x. And then the plus 16 just stays. And I can't combine anything else. That's everything. So that is completely simplified. And so that's just like one example of each, adding, subtracting, multiplying. If you need to rewatch it, you can just rewind it and watch the example again. This should be enough to help you get through all the different types of problems you'll see on the Delta Math. Good luck.